2026 International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. Bwana PS, there is a very interesting story about this center where we are today. Labda unaijua, but for the purpose of those who might not be aware, a few years back, around 2017, when an order was given for this center to be established, UNODC pamoja na NACADA tulianza kuangalia jinsi ambavyo tungeweza kufadhili establishment of this center. And at that time, I think things were very, very good. We even had a donor in mind. Tukaandika proposal, tukapeana michoro, and there was very, very good prospects that there is a donor who was going to help establish this center. Tukafanya mikutano kadhaa, alafu mwishowe ule mfadhili tuliokuwa naye in mind ni kama priorities zake zikabadilika. Kwa hivyo hangeweza kutupa ile ufadhili tulikuwa tunatarajia, and it threw us off our plan. But I'm very, very delighted that even despite that setback that time, the government of Kenya, through the Ministry of Interior and NACADA, did not give up on that dream. So when I came back here today, I was really, really happy to see that the government didn't abandon that plan, and this center is taking shape slowly by slowly. So thank you very much, Bwana PS, and we hope that the remaining phases of the center are going to be completed. So, to the work that brought me here, I have a very small assignment. On behalf of our regional representative, Mr. Ali El Beirir, I am going to deliver the remarks of our executive director on Ambassador Monica Juma. This is her remarks on this particular day, and I start now. The illicit drug trade persists, and its imprint is visible everywhere. In the harm it causes, the violence it unleashes, the healthcare gaps it exposes, and the millions of lives it erodes. In 2024, 331 million people use drugs, and that is a 34% increase than a decade ago. 34% of 331 million is almost 85 million people. So in the last 10 years, 85 more million people started to use drugs, while 63 million people are suffering from drug use disorders worldwide. Among them, too many still cannot access the treatment and care that they need, especially women, young people, and the most vulnerable. And still, the drug market itself is evolving rapidly. Critically, the illicit synthetic drug market is expanding, becoming easier to manufacture and harder to detect, while moving closer to consumer markets across all regions of the world. And I think this also resonates very well even with the recent study that was done by NACADA on wastewater analysis, which showed that in our country, we have small-scale laboratories that could be manufacturing illicit synthetic drugs. The number of new psychoactive substances on the global market has reached a record high, with some being highly potent and extremely harmful. Organized criminal groups are in turn adapting, shifting away from plant-based opiates towards synthetics, and with global consequences. The cocaine market, meanwhile, continues to set new records as traffickers search for new routes, new methods, and new vulnerabilities to move their products and meeting demand. Hii mambo ya cocaine, especially within Africa, is another very big threat, because the traffickers of cocaine see Africa as the new frontier to expand their markets. So we all have to be very, very vigilant with the increased use of cocaine and other stimulants within our neighborhoods. These persistent challenges and the evolving threats require us to rethink and readjust our responses. We must strengthen cooperation by sharing intelligence faster, coordinating joint operations more closely, and pursuing drug traffickers in the digital space. We must use data, science, and technology, and anticipate and respond quicker to emerging drug threats. We must invest in alternative livelihoods, as well as prevention, treatment, and recovery-oriented harm reduction. And I think this center itself, as the Center of Excellence for Treatment and Rehabilitation, speaks to these aspirations. Above all, our response must remain anchored in the international drug conventions and relevant international law, human rights commitments, and the spirit of multilateralism that they embody. On this International Day against drug abuse and illicit trafficking, let us confront the world drug problem together, guided by our collective responsibility to build a safer, healthier, and more dignified world for all of humanity. Thank you very much. Asanteni sana.